from SportsGrid.
So, let's bring in Denver Bronco fan. Merry Christmas, Mick Aussie. Has been a pretty good year for the Denver Broncos, Mick. Last week notwithstanding, but Broncos are rolling into the new year. How you doing, Mick? Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and Craig. I don't think I've been on with you before, but yeah, the Broncos looking good. I didn't think we were as good as we are, but we did get smashed last week by Jacksonville, so they're looking good with Steffi Trev at quarterback. But yeah, the AFC and NFC, mate, you look at the Super Bowl odds, it's really up for grabs. Any team could win it this year.
Yeah, Denver.
Mick,
Did you think, Craig, that Denver were as good as their record was? Because, you know, all those fourth quarter comebacks and spotting teams, their offense is kind of spotty.
No, they have a huge home field advantage. I think they got a little exposed last week, but, you know, Mick, I wouldn't get too down on it. I mean, Jacksonville is the single hottest team in the National Football League right now. I understand New England's had their run and the Broncos have had their run. You know, Mick, the coaching for Jacksonville in particular seems to be at a very high level right now. We've been waiting a long time for somebody to get the quarterback on Jacksonville, looking like he's deserving of the money. I don't know if you would agree, but he's done the job. He may not win Coach of the Year, but to me, that's why. And I talked about it earlier. Everyone, you know, said I was crazy here at SportsGrid for picking the Jaguars to go to the Super Bowl. I'm still on that.
Hell of a pick.
But I would say Gabe's Bills, you know, certainly to me, if there's one player in the NFL that is far and away above everybody else that's changed this year, it's Josh Allen. Because I think in previous years you would say, oh, you know, it's Josh Allen, it's Lamar Jackson, it's somebody else. There is nobody like this guy. So I'm hopeful, Mick, that Jacksonville does not have to play Buffalo in that first round, because then I think it would probably be, what would it be? What would you make the line there, Mick, if the Jaguars played the Bills in the first round of the playoffs? At home. Jags are home.
Probably a home field advantage, but Gabe's Bills, I mean, the first year the Chiefs are just nowhere to be seen, and the Bills, I mean, they're good, but they rely on Allen and Cook. They're not as good as they should be, Gabe, so they got to pick up their game, but the playoff experience should help the Bills. Absolutely, it should.
I think it would be a pick 'em, Craig. It would be a pick 'em. Buffalo at Jacksonville.
I think Bills would be favored.
That depends, though, like the way the Jags are playing right now. The Bills on the road, yeah, it would be like 1.5 type thing, but it would be a near pick 'em.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be 3 or 3.5 or something. Like it would be a near pick 'em. But yeah, it's interesting with Lawrence, right? That you throw out the Urban Meyer stuff. So he was, you know, that was just a horrible way to start your NFL career with Urban Meyer. I don't know why him and Peterson never gelled or clicked. They didn't get along. Lawrence went behind his back to like quarterback coaches and like quarterback camps, which upset Peterson. He could never really just get through to him. And I don't know. I think Lawrence sort of, maybe it's a time of his life now that he decided I got to, you know, step this thing up. It seemed to me like Lawrence got rid of the ball too quickly in the past, Craig, or didn't want to get hit when he ran. Like, he seems to be more all in right now. Like, just he's all in to win the game.
The first 10 weeks of the season, 8 to 10 weeks of the season, we saw glimpses of it. I can tell you unequivocally in watching it what has changed. Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, after the second read, Gabe, and you saw this in the championship game, this dude would take off and run for 50 yards. He completely stopped running with the Jaguars. Yeah. Look what has happened the last few weeks. They hike the ball. It's a direct snap. He runs right into the end zone.
And he's fast, too. He is a fast dude when he runs.
I think that has been the difference. Now, getting Jacoby Myers in that trade, that definitely helped, too, because I don't think Brian Thomas is as good maybe as his numbers were last year. But Lawrence's ability to run the ball, there's no reason that he shouldn't be like Bo Nix, you know? Like, he should be able to get 40, 50 yards rushing a game. He's doing it now. I think that's been the difference.
You could say the same thing about Justin Herbert. Harbaugh told him, you need to use your legs more. And you saw Herbert basically single-handedly won that football game against the Eagles using his legs, just gutting it out. Mick, what's your prediction for tonight? You know, Kansas City have a quarterback. Nobody knows who the hell he is. Half their team's on the injured reserve now. I still don't want to lay 13.5 points here. I'm not assuming that Denver's just going to murder them because KC can just play loose. They can run trick plays. They're playing for fun. And it's always hard to play a team that's just sort of playing for fun. What's your prediction tonight, Mick?
Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree. I think the Broncos are mad for losing last week, and their coach, Sean Payton, will have them fired up. The quarterback, Chris Ododokin from the Jackrabbits. Hey, Jackrabbits, what a name in college. And I think we'll do well. And watch out for Franklin, wide receiver. He's had a good year. Sutton, of course, very good. But Franklin's good. And Harvey at running back and Bo Nix. So watch out for those big four. Maybe put some props on those. I think we'll destroy them and win easily because we haven't beaten KC in Kansas City for many years. So they'll be fired up and they want that number 1 seed. So important with the only team having the bye this year, number 1 seed for both divisions.
Pacheco has been kind of a disappointment this year, Craig, but his rushing prop is 34.5 tonight. Kareem Hunt's the guy that gets the touchdowns when they get close in the red zone, but what's your take on KC's game script tonight from a prop perspective?
Yeah, let me go back to one that I do like. So, I don't play in one fantasy league, Gabe. I mean, come on, give me a break. I play in 2, and one of them. Let me talk about how crappy I was this season. I was horrendous. One of the main reasons why I was horrendous is because I drafted this running back on the Broncos who I was told was going to be a superstar, and now he is. Why did they wait 10 weeks to play RJ Harvey? This guy's incredible. Every time he touches the ball, it's 8 yards, it's 10 yards, it's 15 yards. He's the reason why the Broncos won a lot of games. But, Mick, how am I going to yell at Sean Payton? During all that time that he wasn't playing, they were the best team in the NFL. So I guess now we're finding out how good he was. Could they have been better? Maybe so, but it's hard to argue. I love the receiving prop tonight for RJ Harvey. This guy is such a big part of what they're doing on offense, and they literally don't have anybody else at running back. So I think there's a good shot tonight for him to break a long one off. Receiving yards 35, 40. Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
Harvey's been a touchdown machine as well. 4 touchdowns in 4 of their last 5 football games. Dynamic back and catch the ball out of the backfield, like you said, Craig, out of Virginia. I drafted him on one of my teams as well. I liked him, and it was a slow start. But he did win a couple of weeks for me, but I ended up getting eliminated last week in the semifinal, unfortunately. Mick, what do you think about the Minnesota and the Detroit game?
Look, I'll take the Lions to win. Absolutely, I have. I think McCarthy's out at quarterback, but the Lions' defense so bad. Was it 5.5? I thought it was more than that. Yeah, they might cover the 5.5, but Lions, they have to win, but they still might miss out. So pretty disappointing. Some of these teams this year, just woeful defenses like Cowboys and Lions, but prolific offenses. So some of these teams going to pick up. Broncos, good even team, right?
Well. Don't look now, but the San Antonio Spurs are doing it again to the Oklahoma City Thunder. You want to talk about, like, just sort of, like I said, styles make fights, matchups, and all that other type of stuff, but it's horrible for Oklahoma City. They do not have an answer. You know what, though? They just ended strong. It was a 13-point lead. They cut it to 9 at least. So we got a game. It's 69-60, and I just clicked an in-game over 243.5 as well. So we're at halftime. We'll get back to that and get you some bets for the half here. Cowboys moving the football right now. They're only up by 7 with about 6.5 left, a little under 7 minutes left. 6 minutes left now in the football game. 27-20 for the Dallas Cowboys. They are moving the rock right now. And they closed it, 8.5? I saw it closed at 8.5, 9 type deal. So field goal, you'll cover. I didn't see 10 anywhere for this. So Mick Aussie is a big tennis fan, and his favorite player is Nick Kyrgios. They're both Australian. And Nick Kyrgios, the pride of Australia, Mick, takes on Arena Sabalenka in the battle of the sexes, too. Of course, Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs many years ago. Billie Jean King beat Bobby Riggs. So they're going head-to-head. And I am being sarcastic when I say that it's Mick's favorite player because, Mick, you hate Nick Kyrgios.
Mate, you got me good. I was razzing you up for watching that Jake Paul fight, and then you tweeted me back about Nick Kyrgios. So that was a good comeback. But this is what he is. I've got him here, mate. See this? This is a peanut. A peanut. Now, in Australia, we call your head. We call your head, your brain, your nut, right? And a peanut is a huge insult to anyone, basically saying you have a size of a brain as a peanut. So Nick Kyrgios is a peanut. He's done hardly anything. He got runner-up in Wimbledon and got beaten by Djokovic, but that's all he's done. Sure, he won a doubles Australian Grand Final with Kukanakos in that major, but other than that, he's hardly done anything. He's the most hated Australian sports person of all time. I don't even think he's Australian. He's Greek background, but yeah, he's Aussie, unfortunately. I hope he gets smashed. But Sabalenka, she might get the yips on her serve, though, eh?
All right, so Kyrgios is a minus 600 favorite to win the match. Sabalenka, and you know, you can almost argue and be surprised that it's not more. That's why, because a lot of people think, oh, Sabalenka doesn't have a chance, right? It's a man versus a woman. She doesn't have a shot. Yet the odd mix, 600 is a big number, but not really, right? Like for something that's like supposedly so one-sided. So Kyrgios is a minus 600 favorite. Sabalenka is a plus 350 favorite. It is a little bit different. They tweak some rules. It's it's not a official match. So Sabalenka's side of the court is a little smaller. By like 4 feet type thing. It's not that much, but it makes a little bit of a difference. So Kyrgios has to be a little bit more precise, right? So she's got a little bit. They gave her a couple of feet type of deal. And there's only one serve each, actually, for both, which could be a problem for Sabalenka, Mick, because that's when she has problems on her first serve, right? Now, she can smash it, but she gets nervous. Like she's very tough mentally, Sabalenka. That's why she wins all the time. But as you know, Mick, if she's got a weakness to her game, there's two weaknesses to her game. And Kyrgios even said it. He said, I'll be able to return her serve. And he said, I'm going to kill her at the net. Her net game, her short game lacks because she's kind of big and stuff. So she doesn't spend a lot of time around the net. Like Kyrgios thinks he's just going to be able to drop shot her, Mick, all day. That's his approach. He goes, she will not be able to deal with my drop shots. And we'll see what happens. She's coming to win. She says she thinks she has a chance to actually win. What do you think happens? And I'll ask you, Mick, because look, we have a number for the first set. All right. Does Kyrgios win 6-2, 6-3, 6-4? Is he going to roll her 6-love? Like, how do you think it plays out in the first set?
All right, well, like I said, it's all about her serve. In Australia in 2022, she had like 22 double faults in a game. She even went and served underarm for a while. So let's hope that she focuses. Yeah, it's a worry at the net, but she's fit. And Kyrgios hasn't played for so long. He's 673rd in the world right now. But he's a clown, mate. He doesn't think. So he'll just get up there and serve and won't even think about where he's going to place the ball or anything. His mind games could upset her, but he's an absolute clown. But remember when Michael Johnson took on Donovan Bailey in that race and Johnson faked the hamstring injury because he was losing? That's what Kyrgios will do. If Kyrgios is losing, he'll fake an injury because he's a weakling. But I'll say he wins 6-4, 6-4, but I hope I am wrong, and I'd love to see her beat him, mate.
You know what, Mick? That's a very good point that you raise as far as Kyrgios is concerned. If things aren't going well for him, he could say, I pulled my groin, my hamstring, right? He can sort of, I'm out. And that's a good point. And suddenly you get paid for the win for Sabalenka. You get paid. You would get paid for the win. This is a little bold. Like, the sports book is pretty evil. Like, they're not, like, if I was like, all right, I'll take Sabalenka plus 5.5 or 4.5 games or something like that, but they're not giving me the option to. Like, they're saying, well, Sabalenka win the first set, and I'm only getting plus 325. Like, wow. That's what I'm saying, Mick. Like, the sports book, like, if put it this way, if you're tuning in right now and you think Kyrgios is going to murder her, it's not, you know what I mean? The odds aren't that bad. Like, so basically, Kyrgios, the first set, like the first set total, first set score, Kyrgios to win 6-love is 14-1. 6'1" is plus 800. 6'2" is plus 375. 6'3" is plus 500. 6'4" is plus 333. So you're getting pretty good money here. Is Sabalenka, can she win 4 times, Mick, in the first set? It's asking a lot, isn't it? And it's not, she ain't going to win 3 because she's going to get her set broken. So it's either going to be 6-2 or 6-4.
Well, he's trying to make a comeback. I heard he wants a wild card entry to the Aussie Open, which is in January, so that's not far away. So maybe he's fit and getting serious, but he's the most underachiever ever in sport. With that physical